bathroom, so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad with the echo in here. So this was a while ago. I don't remember what year it was, but I had this van that I used to drive, very crappy van. Literally, my stepbrother got it for not my stepbrother, my stepdad got it for like $500, and basically he allowed me to use it during my college years. Anyhow, so I was using this truck, beat up piece of crap, um, a list of problems that it had. Um, I did my best to take care of it, but at that time, working, going to school, and being in a van and trying to fund different things, and also having a girlfriend at that time, things got expensive even then. So at this time, I periodically lived with them, and my job was a good 30 minutes from where I was living. And when I say living with them, I live with my mom, my stepdad, and that's a whole other story to tell. But to sum it up, I moved there because my college was like 10 minutes from there. Anyway, so I used to work 30 minutes from there at this like soup place. Not really relevant to the story, but that's just the type of place I worked. Anyway, so driving there one day, my brakes felt a little funky. They were kind of grinding, not acting right. And at some point while driving to work, they felt very light, like they were going to the floor. And I thought, that's odd. I should probably get my brakes looked at. I probably need new brakes and rotors. The pad's probably worn away. So I thought to myself, I'll get it fixed, I'll get a paycheck, and then I'll worry about it later. I'm not going to sit on it for a very long time, but I'll worry about it later. I got to get to work. So I go to work, and I'm cautious going to work. Um, and during this time, I want to mention that it was winter and you had black ice. Um, so you got to be careful with that, especially when it's nighttime. And although during the day it would melt because the sun would come out, at night it gets like freezing temperatures, especially in PA. Anywho, so I drive to work. I'm being cautious about driving to work. Um, and then I finally get there. I work, I do my shift, and then it's go home time. So I get in my car, I start driving home. Everything feels the same. Doesn't feel any worse, doesn't feel any better. So I get about halfway to my house. And on this specific road, it's very hilly, a lot of downhill and winding roads. Well, I'm driving, I go around this bend, and as I'm coming down this hill, a deer runs out in the middle of the road. Well, not only did a deer run out, but there was a car that was maybe 25 feet in front of me that slammed their brakes on. And the deer goes, and I slam my brakes on because, they're at the bottom of the hill and they have, they're pretty much like parked with their brake on. Well, when I hit my brake, it didn't do anything. So, to avoid hitting them, I swerved and hit a guardrail. Now, here's the thing, hitting a guardrail is dangerous, of course, and hitting one head on is obviously dangerous. Luckily, I wasn't going fast and I was trying to brake, so I was basically coasting down the hill. But the way that I hit this guardrail, it was like the front corner right side. So when I hit the guardrail, to swerve so I didn't hit the car. And I don't think, just to plug this, I don't think the car in front of me had a clue as to what was happening, because once they kind of drove off, it's not like they heard my brakes because I had none. But anyway, so I swerve, I hit this guardrail, and when I hit it, it propels my car up in the air onto my side, and I totally flip the van. So I'm completely like holding onto the steering wheel sideways, still in the driver's seat, kind of in shock, not really in shock, but kind of like, oh, snap, like that just happened. And I don't know if it was a mixture of me hitting black ice or just my brakes failing entirely. I think that's what happened. Um, but, nonetheless, I end up on my side. I'm like flopped onto my side. And it's about 10 o'clock, maybe. Not too late. And luckily, there wasn't anybody else on the road, but just boom onto my side. Like I said, I'm in the driver's seat. Like, ooh, I can't believe that just happened. Anywho, so man, and I'll say this: I was stupid at that time. Like, not a stupid person, but in this incident, I was stupid because I did not turn my car off. Anywho, so I'm looking up, and I have to climb up out. It's like vertical now. I have to climb through the passenger window in order to get out of the car. My driver's side window didn't break. It was up. I don't know how that did not happen, but I got very lucky because if the glass shattered, it would have came back onto me. I don't know. Could have been bad. Anyway, so I climb out of the vehicle. Damn, the shower's like loud. Somebody just got a shower. I climb out of the vehicle and I'm standing on top of the vehicle, just kind of looking around like, this really just happened. And now I'm stranded. I knew where to go. It's not like I didn't know how to find my way home. It would take me some time, but it was freezing for one. And it probably would have taken me like an hour, maybe more, to walk home from where I was. Anywho, so I'm standing on this vehicle, and this is funny. As I'm standing on the vehicle, I see I see these people come out. Like I was about to say neighbors. I see these people come out. They walk out to the end of their driveway. They're like in their robe and everything. They got their flashlights. They just shine their light. And imagine just seeing somebody standing on a car that's been flipped on its side, just standing there, kind of like Superman. The only difference is I didn't do one of, I didn't have a cape or anything, but I had my hands on my hips and I'm just standing there like assessing the situation. Like, what am I going to do now? What are my options? I believe I had a phone on me. I don't think I didn't have a phone on me, but I don't really remember that part. Is that your house? Yes, I'm in my bathroom right now because I'm about to get a shower. I'm trying to tell the story pretty quickly, but I don't know. Quicker than usual. But anyway, so they come out, they're in their robes or whatever, and they're just, shining the flashlight, shining and shining, and they look up and they see me standing on the vehicle. And I pretty much slide down or hop off the vehicle and I'm like, yeah, can you guys call 911? I mean, I wasn't injured, but I wanted to report it or see what I could do. Obviously, I needed to get it towed. But one thing that ruined the vehicle was leaving the keys in there, leaving it on. I didn't think to shut the vehicle off when I got out. So all the oil and all the, fluids and everything of this vehicle had spilled out onto the road. So it's safe to say that I ruined that vehicle. And I went an entire month, maybe more, without a vehicle, which was a challenge to try and get to work. But nonetheless, yeah, we make the phone call. I think eventually I had my sister and maybe her boyfriend at that time pick me up. I don't really remember, but I think that's what happened. The whole ordeal probably wrapped up around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, in the morning. Yeah, that's what you get for, I guess the moral here is like, that's what you get for waiting and waiting and pushing and putting stuff off. Because although I knew the brakes needed to be done, a few days prior, I said to myself, I need to get these brakes done. They're not sounding good, but I gotta work, I gotta make some money, I'll get to it, it'll be okay, it'll be all right. It's kind of that classic case where it's not that you necessarily think that nothing can happen to you, but a part of you is like, it's not gonna happen to me. Like, surely this will be fine. I'll be able to get to work and then worry about it later. Well, That's what you get. Because if I had acted on it and just took it to a shop, maybe maybe missed a day of work, if that, this could have all been handled. But I pushed it off, and I kept pushing it off, and then this was the result. So, yeah, it's safe to say that I learned my lesson not putting things off. And I think it's a good eye opener for anybody to take that advice. And, if it's something you need to do and you have that gut instinct, don't ignore it. Get it done, pay the money, do the thing, just get it over with. Better safe than sorry. And in this situation, I was without a car for a while. I had to fend for myself. It cost me money. So for a little, I don't know what the saying is I'm trying to find here, but whatever it is, but I'll just say this. A little situation turned into a big situation because I didn't act on it when I should have. But luckily I wasn't injured, it could have been worse. I mean, I don't drive fast, but if I was, could have been bad. Anyway, so that was the time that I flipped my van and crashed into a guardrail because I had no brakes. Yeah, genius. All right, well, that's it, guys. That was my story. And Merry Christmas to everybody. I gotta get in the shower now. I gotta go to a Christmas Eve dinner. But I hope everybody is having an amazing time, or they're excited for Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, guys. Holy crap. I remember thinking Halloween is here already, and now it's Christmas. And don't even get me started on Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving just flew by. That was like a blur almost. Although I remember what I did for Thanksgiving, but it just felt that way. Yeah, I hit a guardrail. Yep. Yeah. The guardrail caused my car to flip over, my van to flip over. It does, certainly. It does indeed. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you guys about. Yeah. Oh man, my arm is getting sore from that, just holding a phone. Dang. Because I was holding it like this the entire time. Usually I'm stationary. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys, again, have a very Merry Christmas. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, yeah. See you guys.